Alex Carter had never expected a quiet evening on the space station to turn into anything unusual. The hum of the artificial gravity generators filled the corridors, mixing with the distant mechanical whirring of automated drones performing routine maintenance. It was just another day in orbit around the blue and green jewel of Earth, yet Alex had a strange feeling, one that settled deep in his chest like a warning bell. He had just finished calibrating the atmospheric regulators in the engineering bay when a sudden flash of movement caught his eye. A small figure darted across the hallway, barely visible in the dim light. At first, he thought it was another maintenance drone gone rogue, but then it moved with a precision that drones couldn't match. The figure stumbled, tripped over a loose cable, and before Alex could react, it fell directly onto his lap. Alex froze, caught off guard by the unexpected weight and the soft gasp that came from the stranger. The being was small, humanoid in shape, and wearing what looked like a Maid uniform, though clearly not one from any human design he had ever seen. Its skin had a subtle luminescence, a soft, pale blue that shimmered faintly in the station lights. The eyes were large, expressive, and held an intelligence that immediately unsettled him. I'm sorry," the figure said, voice musical but heavily accented, the words broken but understandable. It was more than speech, it was calculation, every movement controlled, every gesture precise. Alex scrambled back, creating a little space, yet the alien seemed unafraid. It adjusted itself carefully, revealing a set of hands unlike any humans. They were delicate yet strong, with long fingers that moved fluidly over surfaces, as if they were born to handle tools and machinery with absolute precision. Alex couldn't help but notice the tiny circuits embedded in the skin of the hands, glowing faintly as if alive. "You fell," Alex stammered, trying to make sense of what had happened. The alien, now standing, tilted its head and gave a subtle nod. Its movements were intentional, careful, almost ceremonial in their grace. Then, with a quick motion, it pulled a small toolkit from a compartment in its uniform. Alex's eyes widened. This wasn't just a maid, it was something else entirely. Something designed to work with technology in ways humans could barely imagine. "My ship," the alien said, pointing toward the maintenance hatch at the far end of the corridor. Its eyes held a pleading quality, though controlled, measured. Alex hesitated. The station was not a place for visitors, much less aliens. Security protocols would be triggered the moment anyone saw her, or it. But curiosity overcame caution. There was something compelling about this small creature. The precision, the intelligence, the quiet confidence, it wasn't accidental. "All right," Alex said finally, standing and brushing himself off. "Show me." The shuttle was ancient by human standards, but clearly advanced in design. Alex bent over, examining the damage, and found himself both impressed and confused. The alien moved to the shuttle, kneeling gracefully and touching the panels. Its hands glowed faintly as it ran circuits, almost sensing the problem before Alex could even point it out. He watched, fascinated, as it began repairing delicate components. "Wait," he said, "don't you need parts?" Whatever this being was, it had skill beyond what he had ever seen, far beyond human capacity. You're not just a maid," Alex said quietly. The alien paused, looking at him with large, expressive eyes. The gaze was calculating, evaluating. Then, almost imperceptibly, a small nod confirmed what Alex already suspected. This being was capable, intelligent, and deliberate. Nothing about its arrival here was accidental. As the shuttle began to stabilize, Alex noticed another detail, tiny markings along the alien's wrists and hands. Lines of writing or symbols, too small and intricate for him to decipher at a glance. He realized they must have some meaning, perhaps a sign of rank, origin, or specialization. Whatever they meant, it confirmed what he had begun to suspect. She was running from someone or something powerful. Suddenly, alarms sounded from the station. Alex's communicator buzzed urgently. "Security breach in Sector 7, the automated voice warned. "Unknown life form detected." It merely finished adjusting the last wires on the shuttle and gave a subtle hand signal to Alex. It was clear that it trusted him enough to work together, yet he couldn't shake the thought that security would arrive in minutes. "We need to move," Alex said, leading the way toward the nearest maintenance corridor. The alien followed silently, hands now folded neatly in front of it, posture calm, confident. As they navigated the winding corridors, Alex realized that he knew almost nothing about the alien. Its name, origin, purpose, all mysteries. But its skill was undeniable, and more than that, there was an air of urgency, a sense of importance that surrounded it. Whoever had sent this creature, or whoever it had escaped from, was not a casual entity. They reached a side maintenance hatch that led to a service tunnel. Alex slid the panel open, motioning for the alien to enter first. It stepped in smoothly, almost gliding, and for a moment Alex caught a glimpse of the inner workings of its mechanical efficiency. Its hands moved naturally as it balanced, adjusted, and even scanned the tunnel ahead with what seemed like intuition. "This way," it said, voice quiet now, almost like a whisper, though the words were precise. Alex followed, marveling at the alien's ability to adapt instantly to the station's complex systems. Every turn, every ladder, every control panel was approached with care yet remarkable speed. It was clear this being had been designed for more than service. It had been built for problem-solving under pressure. Finally, they emerged into an empty observation deck, overlooking the vastness of space. Stars shimmered like diamonds, distant planets casting faint glows across the station's hull. The alien paused and looked at Alex, eyes bright with intelligence and something he couldn't quite define, perhaps hope or maybe calculation. You are not here by accident," Alex said aloud. The alien nodded slightly, then reached into its uniform to reveal a small device almost like a data pad. With a few precise gestures, it displayed schematics, symbols, and codes too advanced for Alex to immediately understand. He realized that this creature carried knowledge far beyond human technology, knowledge that could change how humans understood space travel, energy, and mechanics. As Alex stared, trying to comprehend the depth of what he was seeing, he felt a mix of awe and responsibility. This alien had chosen him, or perhaps fate had chosen him, to be the one to help, to protect, and maybe even to learn from. And in that moment, he understood something essential. Human ingenuity, combined with this alien's precision, could accomplish something extraordinary. The hum of the station faded into the background as Alex considered the possibilities. If he could help this being repair its shuttle, perhaps they could escape the station before security arrived. Perhaps they could avoid whatever pursuers lurked in the void of space. Perhaps, just perhaps, this encounter was the beginning of something far larger than either of them could imagine. For the first time that day, Alex smiled. He didn't know what the future held, but he knew this. Whatever had brought this alien into his lap, it was no accident. And whatever came next, he would face it with curiosity, courage, and the determination that made humans capable of more than anyone, even aliens, could anticipate. He extended a hand, not just as a human welcoming an alien, but as an engineer ready to embark on a new adventure. The alien took it with a firm grip, the kind that conveyed competence, trust, and perhaps a hint of friendship. Together, they turned toward the shuttle, toward the unknown, toward a future that neither could predict, but both would face side by side. And as the observation deck lights dimmed and the stars shone brighter than ever, Alex felt a thrill he had never known. Adventure, danger, discovery, and the knowledge that this was only the beginning. The hum of the station continued, indifferent to the tiny drama unfolding within it. But Alex didn't care. For the first time, he was part of something extraordinary. Alex stared at the alien, now kneeling beside the small shuttle, and could hardly believe what he was seeing. Her hands moved with an almost magical precision, adjusting wires, reconnecting circuits, and replacing components faster than he could follow. Sparks flew from tiny points, but never enough to be dangerous, as if she had complete control over every electrical charge. He swallowed hard, realizing that she was more than a servant or a simple android. Whatever this being was, she had been built for advanced engineering, or perhaps trained in ways far beyond anything human engineers had attempted. He leaned closer, studying her hands. The circuits embedded in her skin glowed faintly, almost pulsing like a heartbeat. Every motion was deliberate, efficient, beautiful in its perfection. You don't need parts?" Alex asked, his voice a mix of awe and confusion. The alien shook her head, then gestured toward a compartment on the shuttle's side. Inside were tiny spare components, some clearly human-made, others of alien design. Alex realized she had a way of combining both technologies seamlessly, blending human tools with her own advanced systems. "Impressive," he whispered. "You could fix almost anything like that." As they worked, a warning buzzed from his communicator. "Alex Carter, please report to security immediately. Unauthorized life form detected in Engineering Bay." Her focus remained on the shuttle, her movements precise and calm, as if the alarms meant nothing to her. "We need to be quick," Alex said quietly, motioning toward the hatch. "If security finds you, we're both in trouble." Alex stepped closer, noticing the subtle adjustments she made on the propulsion array, tiny recalibrations that no human engineer could perform. It was clear she was not just repairing the shuttle, she was upgrading it. "Your hands," Alex murmured. "They're incredible. How can you do this?" Then in a series of precise gestures, she traced patterns in the air. Alex realized she was communicating visually, almost like a language made of motion rather than words. The gestures conveyed efficiency, calculations, even problem-solving logic. He shook his head in disbelief. Humans could learn patterns, but she seemed to predict problems before they happened. Before he could respond, a shadow passed across the observation deck window. A rival ship had appeared outside, scanning the station. Its sleek design and heavy armament suggested that whoever controlled it was serious, dangerous, and relentless. Alex's heart pounded. He knew without a doubt that this alien had enemies, powerful enemies, and that her arrival here was far from accidental. "We're not alone," he said, pointing toward the window. The alien glanced briefly at the ship, her expression calm but focused. Then she returned to the shuttle, making final adjustments with lightning-fast precision. Alex realized that her calmness was not ignorance but confidence, confidence born from experience, skill, and perhaps survival against threats far more dangerous than this human station could offer. Alex's mind raced. If the rival ship discovered her, the consequences could be catastrophic. And yet, as he watched her work, he understood something crucial. They could rely on each other. His human intuition and problem-solving could complement her precision and skill. Together, they might just stand a chance. Minutes later, the shuttle powered up fully. Lights blinked, engines purred, and a faint vibration ran through the floor. Alex stepped back, amazed. The alien looked at him briefly, then gestured toward the maintenance corridor. It was time to leave. "All right," he said, swallowing his fear. "Let's get out of here before they notice us." Every ladder, vent, and narrow passage was handled with a grace that made him feel like a clumsy giant in comparison. Along the way, Alex tried to piece together her story. She could communicate partially, but her language skills were limited. He learned her name was Lyra, though he suspected it might be an alias. Lyra had clearly been designed for service, but her abilities went far beyond cleaning or maintenance. She could analyze complex systems, repair alien technology, and improvise under pressure. She had likely been part of elite missions, though he could not yet know the details. "What happened to you?" he asked cautiously as they paused in a shadowed maintenance bay. Lyra looked at him, then at the rival ship still hovering outside, and made a gesture that suggested pursuit. Then she touched her wrist where the glowing markings were. Alex studied them again, realizing that these symbols must indicate rank, mission, or purpose. Whatever had brought her here, it was urgent. Alex's chest tightened. He understood now that this was not just an accident or chance meeting. Lyra had intentionally come to this station, either to escape or to deliver something important, and now her enemies were closing in. "Okay," he said, taking a deep breath. "We have to be smart. If they board the station, we won't have much time." It was almost as if she trusted him enough to share responsibility. That was rare for any being, human or alien. Together, they devised a plan. Alex would use his knowledge of the station's maintenance tunnels to outmaneuver security and the rival ship's sensors, while Lyra would handle any technical obstacles with her incredible skill. They moved stealthily, avoiding main corridors, crawling through tight vents, and even using emergency maintenance hatches to bypass cameras. As they progressed, Alex marveled at her abilities. She could manipulate energy locks, hack systems, and bypass security protocols in ways he could only describe as superhuman precision. And yet she did it without aggression, without violence. Her efficiency was matched with intelligence and calm. Finally, they reached the docking bay. The shuttle waited, engines ready, lights blinking softly. Alex checked the rival ship's position through the observation window. It was closing in, scanning for any signs of movement. Time was short. Lyra moved to the shuttle, touching panels and making final adjustments. Her hands glowed faintly as she worked, and Alex realized that this small being held knowledge and skills that could revolutionize human engineering if applied correctly. She wasn't just a survivor, she was a treasure trove of technology and intelligence. Alex took a deep breath and climbed into the shuttle alongside her. "Ready?" he asked. Lyra's only response was a brief nod. As the engines roared to life, the shuttle lifted from the docking bay, moving quickly but silently through the station's outer corridors. Alex handled the controls with trembling hands, relying on his own human intuition to avoid obstacles, while Lyra monitored systems, making adjustments faster than he could comprehend. Outside the station, the rival ship moved closer, weapons scanning, but the shuttle's small size and advanced agility allowed them to slip through unnoticed. Alex marveled at the synergy between human unpredictability and Lyra's precision. He realized something important. Human ingenuity could complement alien skill in ways even the most advanced civilizations might underestimate. For the first time, Alex felt a surge of hope. They were escaping, yes, but more than that, he felt the excitement of discovery, of partnership, of standing alongside a being who could teach him more in a day than he had learned in a lifetime. Lyra finally spoke, her voice soft but clear. "Humans, clever," she said, a small smile forming. "Unexpected, unpredictable, effective." Her arrival, her skills, her very presence, it had been intentional. And now, together, they were a team ready to face whatever came next. Alex couldn't see the future, but he knew one thing. With Lyra's skill and his own ingenuity, they had a chance to survive, to learn, and perhaps to change the course of more than just their own fate. As the stars stretched out before them, endless and bright, Alex felt a thrill he had never known. Adventure awaited, danger lurked. But together they were stronger than anyone could predict. And in that moment, Alex realized this was only the beginning. The shuttle floated silently through the void, stars stretching endlessly beyond the viewports. Alex Carter's heart was still pounding from their narrow escape from the station. The rival alien ship, sleek and deadly, had scanned the area but failed to detect them, thanks to a combination of Lyra's precise adjustments to the shuttle systems and Alex's instinctive piloting. Alex let out a long breath, trying to calm himself. "I can't believe we made it," he said, glancing at Lyra. She was seated beside him, her posture straight, hands resting lightly on her knees, eyes scanning the shuttle's controls. There was an aura of calm about her, a quiet confidence that seemed almost impossible. "You skilled," she said in her melodic, accented voice. "Human clever. I don't know how you do what you do, but wow." She wasn't just a machine or a servant, she was something else entirely. Something far beyond anything human engineers had ever encountered. He couldn't help but wonder, why had she come here? Was it really an accident, as she seemed to suggest when she fell into his lap, or had she been sent on purpose with a mission beyond his understanding? The shuttle's small engines hummed steadily, propelling them through space. Alex checked the navigation systems, realizing that their path led them into a nearby asteroid belt. It was a dangerous route, but it offered cover from the pursuing ship. "We'll have to go through the belt," he said. "It's risky, but it's the only way to shake them off." She extended her hands toward the control panel, and with a series of quick, precise gestures, she recalibrated the shuttle's shields and thrusters. "Obstacle, avoid. Protect, shuttle. Trust human guidance." Rocks and debris flew past them, some large enough to crush the shuttle if they miscalculated. Alex's hands moved instinctively, adjusting speed and angle, while Lyra fine-tuned the systems to react faster than any human reflex could manage. The shuttle weaved and twisted through the dense belt, engines groaning under strain. Alex glanced at Lyra, who was serene, almost enjoying the challenge. Her hands moved over the controls, glowing faintly as they communicated with the ship systems, making micro-adjustments in milliseconds. It was like watching a master artist at work, and Alex felt both awe and pride that he was part of this moment. Hours passed, or maybe minutes. Time had lost meaning in the intense focus of survival. Finally, the asteroid belt ended, and the shuttle emerged into open space once more. The rival ship was nowhere in sight, though Alex knew it would return. Lyra's glowing hands moved over the sensors, scanning for any signs of pursuit. "Safe for now," she said, her voice calm. Alex nodded, feeling the tension slowly ease from his shoulders. "That was incredible. You really are amazing." For a being so advanced and precise, she seemed to value him not just as a partner in survival, but as something more, perhaps an equal in ingenuity. "Why here?" Alex asked cautiously. "Why come to this station? You could have gone anywhere." "Others dangerous." Alex tried to keep his mind focused, but questions kept swirling. Who were her enemies? Why had she chosen him? And what exactly did she know that could make her so valuable? Lyra, sensing his concern, placed a hand on a small panel, projecting a holographic display. Symbols and diagrams appeared in midair, some resembling human engineering schematics, others completely alien. Alex leaned closer, trying to decipher them. They were complex, but he could see patterns, logic, and solutions that he had never imagined. "See," Lyra said, "combine human calculation with alien precision, solve impossible." This was more than just a technical advantage. It was a philosophy, a method of thinking that could change how humans approached engineering, exploration, even survival. He realized that her presence here wasn't a threat. It was an opportunity. Humans, with their unpredictability, and Lyra, with her precision, could accomplish things neither could do alone. Suddenly, the shuttle's sensors picked up movement. A small fleet of drones, sleek and menacing, was approaching fast. Alex's heart jumped. The rival ship had sent reinforcements. He glanced at Lyra, who had already calculated their trajectory and the best evasive maneuvers. "Brace yourself," she said calmly. Together, they maneuvered the shuttle through a series of twists and turns. Alex used instinct, intuition, and a little luck to dodge debris and incoming fire, while Lyra's hands adjusted shields, engines, and energy distribution with superhuman precision. Every movement was calculated, yet flexible, allowing them to survive impossible odds. After what felt like hours but was likely only minutes, the drones were behind them. Alex let out a breath he hadn't realized he was holding. Lyra glanced at him, and he noticed a subtle shift in her expression, what almost looked like approval. "You adapt," she said. "Human, unpredictable, effective. Together, stronger." He realized something crucial. Humans were often underestimated. To the galaxy at large, they were a young species, unpredictable and seemingly primitive. But unpredictability was strength. Creativity was power. And paired with someone like Lyra, humans could hold their own against civilizations far more advanced. Lyra began to communicate more through gestures and small phrases. Alex learned that she had been part of missions that required discretion, speed, and precision. She had rebelled from her original directives, choosing instead to protect something or someone. And now she had chosen Alex, not because he was powerful, but because he was resourceful, adaptable, and willing to act. Alex realized he had a choice. He could run, hide, and hope to survive. Or he could embrace this unexpected partnership, learn from Lyra, and face the dangers ahead with courage. He chose the latter. As they approached the hidden system, Lyra activated a cloaking field around the shuttle, making it nearly invisible to sensors. Alex marveled at her skill, knowing that even the most advanced human technology could not replicate this. They were safe for now, but he knew the pursuit would not end here. "Rest," Lyra said, her voice soft but commanding. "Prepare for what comes next." A small alien had fallen into his lap, and now they were fleeing enemies, navigating unknown space and learning to trust one another. He felt a sense of awe, excitement, and determination. Humans had survived against impossible odds before, and now, with Lyra by his side, Alex felt they had a chance to survive, and maybe even thrive, against whatever challenges lay ahead. He didn't yet know what her enemies wanted, what secrets she carried, or what dangers awaited them in the wider galaxy. But he knew one thing for certain: humans, clever and unpredictable, had a role to play, and together with Lyra, they could face anything. As the hidden system's dim lights appeared on the viewport, Alex smiled. The adventure was only beginning, and for the first time he felt truly alive. The hidden system was quiet, almost too quiet. Asteroids drifted lazily through the void, and distant stars twinkled against the blackness of space. Alex Carter floated in the cockpit of the shuttle, watching Lyra move gracefully across the controls. Every adjustment she made was deliberate, each motion calculated yet flowing with an almost human elegance. "This place safe?" Alex asked, glancing at the sensors. Lyra's glowing hands adjusted the shuttle's shields and sensors. "Safe, temporary, others looking will come." But for now, they had a moment to breathe, to plan, and to repair the shuttle fully. He watched her work, marveling at the efficiency with which she restored the ship. Panels realigned themselves almost as if by magic. Power cores hummed steadily, and every system was recalibrated beyond its original specifications. Alex realized something extraordinary. She wasn't just repairing the shuttle. She was upgrading it, enhancing every function with alien precision. "You could teach humans to do this," Alex said quietly. "We could revolutionize space travel." Humans might lack her precision, her speed, or her ability to calculate instantaneously, but they had something equally powerful: unpredictable creativity. And together, human ingenuity and Lyra's skill could overcome almost anything. The shuttle's systems hummed with life, and Alex felt a rush of excitement. But even as he admired the alien's work, his thoughts kept returning to the rival ship. Whoever was pursuing Lyra would not give up easily. The hidden system could protect them for a while, but eventually they would have to leave. And when that time came, Alex knew they would face far greater challenges. Lyra seemed to sense his worry. She gestured toward a nearby console displaying a holographic map of the surrounding space. Small red blips marked the position of the rival drones, moving slowly but steadily toward the system. "They persistent. We'll search everywhere," she said. "We need plan." But Alex had an idea, a plan that relied on something only humans could do, think unpredictably. "Listen," he said, pointing at the map. "We know they'll look for us where we usually hide, but we don't need to stay there. We can lure them into a trap, use their own assumptions against them." Then she gestured sharply. Good human thinking, combined strategy, precision. Lyra worked alongside him, her hands dancing across the controls, fine-tuning energy flows and adjusting the shuttle's movement in ways Alex couldn't fully understand. Yet he trusted her instinctively, knowing her calculations were flawless. "Ready?" he asked, a hint of excitement in his voice. Lyra nodded. "Ready, humans unpredictable. Others trapped." But Alex had plotted a complex path through the asteroids, one that relied on both his intuition and Lyra's precise calculations. Every turn, every adjustment, was designed to confuse and trap their pursuers. Lyra's hands moved rapidly, glowing faintly as she adjusted shields, engines, and navigation thrusters. Alex felt a sense of awe at her skill. The shuttle responded instantly to every command, moving with a fluidity that no human pilot could achieve alone. Together, they were a perfect team, human ingenuity guiding alien precision. The drones entered the asteroid field, following the decoy signals blindly. Alex held his breath as rocks and debris flew past, narrowly missing the pursuers. Then, at the exact moment, Lyra triggered a series of automated energy nets, invisible to sensors that ensnared the drones. They struggled, their systems overloaded, and one by one they fell silent. Alex couldn't help but laugh. "We did it." A new signal appeared on the sensors. A larger ship, the leader of the rival faction, had arrived. Its energy signature was massive, far beyond anything Alex had seen. It was clear that whoever commanded this vessel was taking no chances. Alex's mind raced. They couldn't outrun this ship, not with its speed and firepower, but perhaps they could outthink it. "Listen," he said, pointing at the display. "This ship will expect us to flee, to hide, but we can use that against it. We'll stay visible, let it think it has us. And then we strike using the shuttle's systems and our environment. Advantage ours." Hidden projectors created false images of the shuttle, moving in multiple directions at once. Energy pulses interfered with the enemy sensors, and the asteroid field provided perfect cover for sudden maneuvers. The rival ship fired, but its weapons hit nothing but decoys. Alex guided the shuttle with instinctive precision, weaving and dodging while Lyra fine-tuned every system to keep them safe. It was a dance of speed, calculation, and creativity. Finally, Alex saw an opening. Using a combination of the asteroid field, the shuttle's cloaking, and Lyra's precise adjustments, they slipped past the massive ship, disappearing into the darkness of space. Alex let out a long, exhausted breath. They had done it. Lyra turned to him, eyes glowing faintly. "Humans unpredictable, strong. Effective." He realized that humans, often underestimated in the galaxy, had a strength that could not be measured in weapons or technology alone. Their creativity, unpredictability, and courage could turn the tide, even against the most powerful adversaries. As they moved deeper into space, Alex and Lyra began to plan their next steps. They needed to find a safe place to repair the shuttle fully, to gather information, and perhaps even strike back if necessary. But for now, they allowed themselves a moment of triumph, knowing that their partnership had turned the impossible into reality. Lyra placed her glowing hands on the control panel, scanning the surrounding systems. Alex watched her, realizing that her skills were not just tools. They were a way of thinking, a philosophy of adaptability, precision, and anticipation. And paired with his human creativity, they were unstoppable. Alex leaned back, gazing out at the stars. The galaxy was vast, full of dangers and mysteries, but he no longer felt afraid. With Lyra by his side, he felt capable of facing anything. And more importantly, he understood that humans had a place in the stars, not as weak or primitive, but as clever, resourceful, and unpredictable, qualities that even the most advanced civilizations could not fully anticipate. He turned to Lyra, smiling. "Ready for the next challenge. Together stronger." The dangers ahead would be many, but Alex knew one thing. With ingenuity, courage, and a little unpredictability, they could face anything, and perhaps even change the course of the galaxy itself. Alex Carter gripped the shuttle's controls, eyes scanning the vastness of space. The stars stretched endlessly, indifferent to the drama unfolding between a small human pilot and the alien world she had come from. Lyra sat beside him, calm as ever, her glowing hands lightly brushing the control panels, adjusting every system with precision that made Alex feel both awed and reassured. The rival alien faction had not given up. Their leader, a massive ship with energy shields stronger than anything Alex had seen, had tracked them relentlessly through the void. It was clear now that whoever commanded it intended to take Lyra back at any cost. Failure was not an option for them, but Alex knew that humans had a different strength: unpredictability. "We're approaching the target coordinates," Alex said quietly. "This is where we'll make our stand. We need to outsmart them, show them that humans and allies are not to be underestimated." This was more than teamwork. It was synergy, a combination of human ingenuity and alien precision that gave them a chance against overwhelming odds. As they approached a dense field of asteroids, Alex's plan began to take shape. They would use the field as cover, forcing the enemy ship to navigate dangerous terrain while they struck from unexpected angles. But success depended on timing, calculation, and split-second decisions, a combination of human instinct and Lyra's precise engineering. The enemy ship appeared on the sensors, massive and imposing. Its weapons systems glowed, scanning for the shuttle, and Alex felt a familiar surge of adrenaline. Lyra adjusted the shuttle's cloaking field, projecting decoy energy signals that mimicked multiple copies of their position. "They'll attack the decoys first," Lyra said. "Then, opportunity." The decoys scattered in multiple directions, confusing the enemy's targeting systems. Alex wove the shuttle through the asteroid field, engines straining as rocks barely missed the hull. Lyra adjusted shields, redirected power, and fine-tuned the navigation thrusters in perfect synchronization. The enemy ship fired again, but its weapons struck only illusions. Alex laughed, a sound of exhilaration rather than fear. "It's working." For a brief, crucial moment, the massive ship became blind to their exact location. "That's our chance," Alex said. "Get ready to move fast." The shuttle shot forward, weaving unpredictably, dodging enemy fire, and striking at weak points in the rival ship's shields. Energy pulses from Lyra's modifications overloaded the enemy's targeting systems, while Alex's piloting guided the shuttle through impossible angles. Each movement was precise, yet unpredictable, a combination no alien faction could anticipate. The enemy ship faltered, shields flickering as the shuttle's actions disrupted their systems. Alex grinned. "We're doing it, keep it up, Lyra." Using the asteroid field, decoys, and synchronized energy pulses, they gradually forced the enemy ship into a trap. Its weapons overloaded, engines strained, and finally it drifted helpless, ensnared by a field of energy nets that Lyra had projected. Alex allowed himself a moment of relief. They had won not through raw power, but through ingenuity, teamwork, and the combination of human unpredictability and alien precision. Lyra turned to him, her eyes glowing softly. "Humans, remarkable, unpredictable, strong, together, unbeatable." The enemy ship was disabled, but the danger was not over. Lyra needed a secure place to fully repair her systems and plan their next move. Alex guided the shuttle toward a remote system, one he knew was uncharted and hidden from major galactic routes. As they entered the system, Lyra began repairing her internal systems, her hands moving with incredible precision, making upgrades that Alex could barely comprehend. He watched, fascinated, as she transformed the shuttle into something even more advanced, blending human technology with alien engineering in perfect harmony. "You trust humans," Alex said softly, watching her work. "Why?" And yet he understood that their bond was not about praise. It was about trust, respect, and mutual dependence. They spent hours repairing, upgrading, and planning. Alex learned more about Lyra's abilities, discovering how her knowledge could enhance human technology. She could optimize energy systems, repair circuits faster than any human, and anticipate problems before they occurred. And yet she relied on him to make quick, creative decisions, something even her advanced programming could not predict. "This is amazing," Alex said. "We could change so much with this knowledge." Humanity had been underestimated in the galaxy, often seen as primitive and weak. But in moments like this, with Lyra by his side, he realized humans were capable of extraordinary things. Creativity, courage, and adaptability were strengths that could overcome even the most advanced opponents. Finally, the shuttle was fully repaired. Lyra tested every system, her hands glowing with energy as she ensured everything was optimal. Alex felt a surge of pride and excitement. They were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. As they prepared to leave the hidden system, sensors picked up distant signals, other ships, curious and cautious, approaching. Alex smiled. They were no longer running blindly. With their combination of human ingenuity and Lyra's precision, they could meet any challenge, outthink any opponent, and survive in ways no one would expect. Lyra's eyes met his. Humans, strong, together, victory possible. The stars stretched out endlessly, a canvas of possibilities. Danger would come again, but for now they had proven something essential. Humans, clever and unpredictable, could hold their own even against civilizations far stronger and more advanced. And as they soared into the unknown, Alex felt a thrill unlike any he had ever known. Adventure, challenge, discovery, and the knowledge that they faced it together, human and alien, united by skill, courage, and trust. The galaxy was vast, full of mysteries and dangers. But Alex, Carter, and Lyra, side by side, were ready to face whatever came next. And in that moment, the universe itself seemed to acknowledge a truth humans had always known. Ingenuity, courage, and determination could turn the tide, no matter the odds. And so, with engines humming and stars ahead, they sailed onward, prepared to meet the future, and to prove that even the smallest human, when clever and determined, could make a difference in a galaxy that underestimated them at every turn.